Welcome back to the pit in Albuquerque. This game's been sold out since Monday afternoon. And the UNLV Runnin' Rebels, who spent 4 weeks in the national polls and are receiving votes, are taking on New Mexico, who is back in the national picture after a number of years. Lon Kruger sends out Chase Stanback and Matt Shaw, teammates in high school in Los Angeles at Fairfax. Oscar Belfield will be at the point guard. Derek Jasper, a transfer from Kentucky. And Trayvon Willis, the junior guard, their leading scorer. And for the Lobos of New Mexico, A.J. Hardiman, the most improved player, according to Steve Alford. The heart and soul of the Lobos, senior Roman Martinez. Hobson, the newcomer, Doris Gary. He was Alford's first signee. He's now a junior. And Philip McDonald had an outstanding freshman season here in the Duke City. And Steve Alford, Olympic gold medalist in 1984, national champion at Indiana in '87. His third season at New Mexico, just 45 years of age, and already a wily veteran of the coaching ranks. And Lon Kruger in his 24th season as a head coach in college, his 6th at UNLV, looking for his 125th win for the Rebels. The Mountain West Conference has had some teams get off to some great starts. San Diego State at 12-3, but how about those BYU Cougars at 15-1?
Well, you read across the country a lot of national publications saying this could be a 3 or maybe even a 4-bid league in the tournament this year because of the preseason success. These two teams on the floor this afternoon, 26-3 combined in non-conference preseason this year.
So UNLV takes the court. And here is Darrington Hobson coming out for the Lobos of New Mexico. Hobson has an interesting story, and his journey to get to New Mexico was a long one. These games have been very close. The last 2 games, these teams have played against one another. 23 ties, 21 lead changes. Neither coach expects either one of these teams to walk it up the floor. It should be end-to-end, and expect much more of the same today as we saw last year in this series.
Well, and last year, you'll remember, Tim, both teams defended their home court. New Mexico winning here and UNLV winning in the Thomas and Mack.
Doris Gary has the basketball for the Lobos. Oscar Belfield guarding him. UNLV wearing the scarlet and gray and the white uniforms trimmed in cherry and silver for New Mexico. Here is Hardiman. The no look. Taken over by UNLV. Trayvon Willis will bring it up the floor. Willis, the transfer from Memphis, gets the ball to the point guard, Oscar Belfield. Derek Jasper was a starter at Kentucky his freshman year, had microfracture surgery last year, transferred to UNLV, sat out. Belfield missed the 3, and Doris Gary chases down the loose ball.
Last time down, the Lobos turned the ball over. They've been very good at taking care of the basketball this year, but UNLV, one of the best teams in the country at forcing turnovers, and they forced number 2 right off the bat here at the beginning of this basketball game. Steve Alford told us, Tim, that they have to handle the pressure, to take care of the ball, protect it, and get good shots. And for Lon Kruger, he mentioned transition defense and rebounding the basketball is a couple of their keys.
Derek Jasper looks to get it into the corner. Willis finally kicked out, now back into Shaw. Shaw up and over a Lobo, and he hits. So UNLV scores the first 2 points of the game. And the Lobo fans stand in the sold-out pit until New Mexico scores. Hardiman hands off to Roman Martinez. Martinez, an exceptional student as well as a member of this Albuquerque community. And a foul as Hardiman went to the basket. And the foul will be called underneath against Derek Jasper.
And let's watch Shaw on the other end with his patience in the post, the 6'8" junior. Beautiful touch on the basketball. And Shaw's been shooting it well, 45% from the field. He takes good shots. He's not a guy that forces things up. And both of these teams getting post play by committee. No dominant post player, but They have a number of guys that they throw in there that have been effective.
Correction on the foul, Trayvon Willis. They put Trayvon Willis up on the board after we saw that. Now they've changed it to Matt Shaw, so it will be on Shaw.
You see Hardiman miss the second free throw. But what a contribution he's made. They lost Daniel Ferris last year and wondered what they would do in the post.
There's Chase Standback, little hook. Martinez battles for the rebound, and New Mexico on the run. Gary to the basket, and he is fouled underneath by Derek Jasper. Well, Jasper will get called for his first personal foul.
When you play UNLV, you better get back in transition defense. You miss, they will push the ball up the floor every opportunity they have. And rule number one in transition basketball, stop the ball. Somebody has got to step in front and stop the basketball.
So Gary gets the first point. That'll allow the New Mexico fans to finally sit down at the pit. Reese Gary out of Elkhart, Indiana. Done an exceptional point.
Reese Gary, the first signee in the Steve Alford era. He's the first player that Steve Alford got committed to come here and play.
And back, open three, and he's got it. And UNLV takes a 5-2 lead.
Standback's just been shooting a little over 31% from behind the arc, but he looked confident with that stroke.
Standback, a transfer from UCLA, and now Doris Gary can't get that one to drop. Belfield goes cross court. Now to Standback. He's got his spot on the floor, but the ball doesn't cooperate, and Ramon Martinez has his second rebound. Doris Gary starting his 79th career game. He is a junior. He has started every game here at New Mexico. Gary pumped that one inside to Martinez. Quick turnaround, missed everything. And Trayvon Willis will pick it up for UNLV.
Both of these teams will push it up and down the floor.
And Willis with a foot on the line gets a two-pointer.
And Willis has struggled from behind the three-point line. His field goal percentage has been very solid, but he's been more of a slasher this year. If his three-point shot comes, he'll be even more difficult to defend as this season progresses.
Hardiman popped out at the top. McDonald with it. Now Gary gets around Belfield. He drives, and Doris Gary can't get it to fall. Belfield going to the basket, and he is going to be guilty of an offensive foul. That's a turnover for UNLV. As the foul is called on Belfield.
And we talked about New Mexico not stopping the ball in transition last time. UNLV bringing it up and pushing it this time, and Hardiman got over in time to draw that charge. Belfield needed to pull up with that one and shoot it over the top.
7-2 UNLV. Rebels paced by the three-pointers so far. Hit by Chase Standback. Gary to Martinez. He can light it up from the outside. And Standback on the rebound. Now Willis running. Willis finds Shaw for two. And it's a 9-2 lead. And Steve Alford wants a timeout. Alford not happy on the New Mexico sideline, but it's high fives all the way around on the UNLV bench.
Trayvon Willis, he and Oscar Belfield, when they have the ball in the open court, these two guards do such a great job of drawing defense to them and then kicking the basketball. And watch how he's going to take the angle and get the attention. Everybody's eyes on Trayvon Willis. You see the great ball fake and the beautiful dish underneath as Matt Shaw is able to finish with ease. And these guards are the catalyst for everything that UNLV does. Trayvon Willis and Oscar Belfield, they push it offensively, they run everything. Everything starts in their hands on the offensive end, and they expect them to pressure with relentless energy defensively and force turnovers.
Philip McDonald out of Cypress, Texas, last year as a freshman, really impressed Steve Alford and his staff. Earned a starting spot and continues to do that. Craig Neal is assistant to his right. Childhood friends. And here they are working together.
This New Mexico team, on their great run in the preseason, they were shooting lights out. And they struggled in the last couple games, especially down at San Diego. They need to find that touch again. And sometimes it's about confidence. Another turnover.
Third one for New Mexico. Timeout on the floor. Running Rebels lead at 9-2 early on in New Mexico. Not quite the start the home team wanted here early in the first half.
And for UNLV, they do such a great job with dribble penetration, and you've got to be able to stay in front of their guards or they'll create opportunities. Watch Oscar Belfield here. He's going to penetrate off the dribble. And now look at all the help defenders that have looked and collapsed to Oscar Belfield. You see 4 people looking. Now he can kick it back to the perimeter. A wide open Chase Standback for a beautiful 3-point shot. Belfield beating his man off the dribble, forcing help. And once you force help, UNLV has you just where they want you. They'll kick it to the perimeter and get good open shots.
Belfield now on the bench along with Shaw. Some substitutions for this very deep UNLV team. Kendall Wallace, a 3-point specialist, is in. Also in Darius Santee wearing number 44. And Anthony Marshall, a guard, a freshman from Las Vegas. And UNLV turns the ball over.
Trayvon Willis tried to keep that pivot foot nailed to the floor, but it just slid a little bit. Was called for the traveling violation.
Will Brown has entered the game for A.J. Hardeman for New Mexico. Brown wearing number 50. And Ramon Martinez gets the ball over to Nate Garth. Garth missed the last game on Tuesday night against San Diego State with a case of food poisoning. Lost 6 pounds. But he is ready to go today, and he launches one for 3. Ramon Martinez with a putback.
And Ramon Martinez is the heart and soul of this Lobo basketball team. He just does so many things, works so hard. And as a senior, when you talk to Steve Alford, he cannot say enough about what a great leader Ramon Martinez is.
Trayvon Willis counters with a 2.
Willis looking confident early in this basketball game. You can see that he's got the mindset, I can take whoever has me off the dribble.
Martinez comes from a basketball family. His grandfather represented Mexico in the 1936 Olympic Games as a member of the basketball team in Berlin, Germany. Before Martinez hit that tip in, the Lobos were 0 for 5 from the field. Foul called.
They get Anthony Marshall with a hand check. They'll let you put one hand or a forearm on, but when you reach out with 2, as soon as you get 2 hands on the offensive player, immediately you're going to get it called. Marshall extended both hands that time.
Garth trying to shake Standback. Nice pass to Martinez. And Ramon Martinez with 2 quick buckets.
Well, what a great job by Nate Garth. The penetration and then finding the open man on the weak side.
Kendall Wallace. He's got a 3.
That's exactly what UNLV wants Kendall Wallace to do. They want him to come out and be offensive-minded and bring some energy and some scoring off the bench.
UNLV has extended their NCAA record of 754 straight games with hitting a 3. As soon as that line was drawn on the floor back in the 80s, they've hit a 3 in every game they've played. They came close 2 years ago at Air Force to not doing it. It's actually Lon Kruger's son, Kevin, who hit 1 with just a couple of minutes to go in the game. And Willis gets the basket. He is fouled by Garth. And Trayvon Willis will go to the line to try for a 3-point play.
Willis averaging just over 15 points a game. Also playing great defense this year for the Rebels. He gets the steal. And look at the strength and body control to take the contact and be able to get the ball up on the glass. Now an opportunity for an old-fashioned 3-point play. But Willis at 6'4" and 195 pounds. When you look at him, look on Standby, very solidly built guy, and you know he can take the punishment out there on the floor.
92% free throw shooter. He started the season 18 for 18 from the free throw line before missing one against Louisville at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas on the 28th of November. And on the season now, he has 55 out of 60 from the stripe. Belfield checking back in, and Willis gets a break.
Willis is a guy, I mean, he is not a stranger to scoring in high school at Washington Union. When he graduated, the 5th most points scored in the history of the state of California. That's saying something.
Curtis Dennis in the game for New Mexico. This is Hobson. Outside it goes. Will Brown, and he strokes one for two.
Will Brown, a nice touch out to 15, 16 feet at 6'9", 225. He can bang inside, but he's got that nice little jump shot from the angle.
The lead is 9 for UNLV. Marshall for Belfield. In fact, when you talk about big leads, the two games they played last year, the largest lead by either team in any of those games was only 8 points. Santee for two. 19-8. Running Rebels on the road. No, they're in hostile territory. And when this crowd gets going, if you're a visitor here, it's almost impossible to hear your teammates on the court. Martinez launches for three. Rebound Belfield. Shooting percentage early on for New Mexico, not good. As a team, is 33%. UNLV, in contrast, 73%. Before that shot. And a blocking foul will be whistled. Anthony Marshall is called for it. And we'll take a timeout. The Run Rebels have run out to a 19-8 lead. UNLV Rebels on the run, and they've run out to a 19-8 lead. Into this game, 12-3. Coming off a 77-73 loss to BYU at BYU Wednesday night, a game in which they felt they could have won. They had the 15-1 Cougars on the ropes right down the stretch and just didn't get enough rebound.
And they had a couple of unforced turnovers, and they got beat up on the offensive glass in that game. Too many second chance points for BYU, and Lon Kruger said that's something they focused on in preparation for this one. So far, they've done a good job. They've allowed only one offensive rebound. For New Mexico, 4 turnovers already here early, and you get UNLV feeling like they can take the basketball from you. It's like a feeding frenzy, and we've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. They'd like to keep it under 10 for a game, and here we are at the 11:40 mark, and they've already turned it over 4 times.
Steve Jones is in the ball game wearing number 20, and he is guarding Jamal Fenton, who checked in at the break for the Lobos. Backdoor pass to Reese Gary. Can't get the roll, but there's Martinez with a second chance. He'll draw the foul. Steve Alford told us yesterday that when senior Roman Martinez leaves this program, there will be a lot of tears shed. He said he's, as you mentioned, the heart and soul of this team. And when Darrington Hobson came in, Martinez took him under his wing, showed him the ropes, and he sees Martinez, a senior, at practice going hard at every single drill and really has set the example for the youngsters on this team. And aside from Martinez, New Mexico is one of the youngest teams in college basketball.
He's their only senior, but what a great senior to have. And Steve alluded to all of the community service work he does and how he works with youth in the community and all these other things that he's done off the court to set an example for these young players.
Lead is now 9 for the running Rebels. Belfield. Kick back out to it. Looks for Jones, and Jones on the line. Turns it over. Jones is the son of Steve Snapper Jones, the former ABA and NBA player. Transferred from Arizona State. Reese Gary guarded by Justin Hawkins. Fenton with it right side for Martinez. Gary corners it. Curtis Dennis on the miss, and Jones the rebound. Hawkins for Belfield. Martinez comes out to get it. Kendall Wallace, he's got a 3. In fact, Wallace had a career-high 5 in a game last year against Nevada Reno.
So the last two times, New Mexico goes with zone defensively, and it causes UNLV problems on the offensive end.
Ball will go back to UNLV. This Sunday, Versus takes you back to the cage. Jamie Feiner and Ben Henderson, two champions, will collide, but only one will leave with a lightweight belt. Plus, witness the return of the most dynamic featherweight in WEC history, the California Kid, Uriah Faber, as he loads up for another title run. World Extreme Cage Fighting live Sunday, 9 Eastern, only on Versus.
We mentioned, Tim, that a couple of defensive sets of 2-3 zone. This time, New Mexico comes back and they go man-to-man, so mixing it up defensively.
Standbeck followed his own shot. That was knocked out of bounds by Darius Gary of New Mexico. Halfway through the first half, 10 minutes remaining. Still a 9-point ball game.
But Tim, we've seen New Mexico this year play quite a bit of 1-2-2 zone. When they have Darrington Hobson in the game, they put him out on the point, and he creates havoc out there when you try to reverse the ball with those long arms in that 6-7 frame. But Steve Alford told us his mentor and longtime friend Bobby Knight, when his team plays zone, he turns off the television, said he won't watch.
He told him, don't fall in love with that zone.
Bobby Knight's been a man-to-man, in-your-face guy, and that's his philosophy. And so when he sees his proteges play a little bit of zone, he doesn't like it, and he lets them know.
And Alford knows that's a great resource to have. When you want to call it, just talk basketball, he can pick up the phone and talk to the general. And Hardiman gets two.
Great movement without the ball by Hardiman. When he saw the double team go to the low post, he went right to the front of the rim and let his teammate find it.
And somebody turned the volume up here in the pit. Fans on their feet. 7-point lead for UNLV. Jasper on his knees, battle for the ball, held ball, and the possession arrow favors UNLV.
Let's go back to that last offensive set for New Mexico. You see Hardiman right at the junction of the key, up on the left-hand side of the key. He sees the double team. When he sees the back of the UNLV players, he knows double team's there. I've got to cut to the basket, and they do a great job of finding him. Easy bucket for Hardiman.
Kendall Wallace driving, wrap around, intercepted. An offensive foul is called on Wallace as he knocked down the Lobo defender, Darius Gary.
A couple of weeks ago in this building, New Mexico got down early to Creighton. And they climbed back in the game, not by starting to shoot lights out. They climbed back in the game on the defensive end, and we see them doing that here. They dug themselves a hole when it's on the defensive end that they're getting a spark and climbing back into this thing.
Santee comes out to play Gary. Now it's Hobson, the left-hander down the lane and in. Darrington Hobson wakes up. Jasper double. Belfield, stutter step. Here's Willis. Lob inside from Belfield, and a foul is called on New Mexico. But Darrington Hobson, who's been in a bit of a shooting slump, uses his dominant hand, the left hand, to score here.
Well, and when you're not shooting it well from the outside, you can't settle for jump shots. You've got to attack, and he's so good at that. And at 6'7", he's got the ability to put it on the floor and get to the rim.
Belfield off a screen. Can't get the three to roll. And New Mexico wins the loose ball. Curtis Dennis beat Trayvon Willis to it. And that ball will be put back into play on the baseline. Tipped off of UNLV, so New Mexico will have the possession. Lobos have cut the lead to 5. Still a lot of time to shoot once the ball is put into play. Vaughn Kruger has done wonders with this UNLV program. Attendance has been up in Las Vegas. He's taken his team to a Sweet 16. A.J. Hardiman called for the personal foul.
And Masamba came off the bench at that last whistle and came in and really battled Hardiman down on that low block and forced Hardiman to get frustrated.
Willis from the corner. And McDonald battling with Standbeck. And New Mexico will have the ball, the possession arrow facing their way. Darrington Hobson using the left hand to draw New Mexico a little closer. 5-point lead for UNLV over the 15th-ranked Lobos of New Mexico. Just under 8 minutes to go in the first half. Today, our eHarmony player profile features Darrington Hobson of the Lobos.
Boy, and what a trek he has made to finally land here in New Mexico. 5 different high schools, and Steve Alford told us that he actually followed him through all that time and wanted to recruit him to come to Iowa when he was there. At verbal commitments to Wyoming and Pepperdine, Ryan Miller, who's on the staff now with Steve Alford, was at Pepperdine and convinced Hobson to come here. He didn't qualify at that time, so went up and played in Price, Utah at the College of Eastern Utah, where he dominated. Dominating player in the junior college ranks, and finally has found a home here. And boy, Steve Alford is glad he has. He's been a huge part of the success here early for the Lobos.
Hobson with 2 points so far today. He has the ball, right wing. Belfield tapped at it. Back to Doris Gary. Fenton with a hand dribble guarded by Jasper. Finds McDonald. 10 seconds on the shot clock. And Gary lost the handle on it and turns it over.
That's turnover number 6 for New Mexico. And you combine that with 33% from the field. It's been a rough start for these Lobos.
Yes. One thing consistent with every coach: take care of the basketball, limit the turnovers. Bryce Masumba, part of the 3-man center by committee for UNLV. Here's Willis short on the jumper, and the rebound by Darrington Hobson. New Mexico trying to make the most of this possession after turning it over last time down the floor. McDonald guarded by Willis. Fenton again with it. Fenton, true freshman from Houston, Texas. One of the good young players here at New Mexico. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Gary way outside. Has to force one up, and it falls.
My heavens. That was not a great shot, but he used every bit of strength he had to get that one up on the rim.
And now the Lobos have cut an 11-point lead down to just 3. And another whistle.
And take a look. New Mexico getting out of sync. They're not in the regular offense. Doris Gary realizes the shot clock is expired. He's just got to force something up. And there's a certain amount of skill and strength to that, but part of that is you just got to be lucky enough to get it up on the rim and hope it drops down. UNLV, you watch New Mexico in that series offensively, and they looked out of sync. What UNLV does as well as anyone in the country, they spread you out. They will extend their defense all the way out to half court. So you're starting your offensive sets way further out than you're used to starting, and you're getting shots further out than you're used to getting them. And you've got to adjust to that as the game goes on, or you got to put the ball on the floor and take it by that pressure defense.
The New Mexico foul was called on Darrington Hobson. Vern Harris bent over the table there, calling some words from the scorer's table. Vern Harris working with Mike Littlewood and Ken Nielsen.
So they're trying to determine what the foul off the basketball was on that one.
Darrington Hobson actually spends a lot of time in Las Vegas. Started his journey in high school at Western High School in Las Vegas. In fact, this summer he ended up playing an open gym with just about every player who plays at UNLV. Said he knows everybody on that team.
A little something special about this game. This is a good rivalry game. New Mexico and UNLV have been a great rivalry. We documented the game from last year that came down to the wire, an overtime affair. Both teams winning on their home floor, and that's usually the way it is. And similar styles. Both like to push the basketball, play in-your-face man-to-man defense. It's always a great matchup when these two teams get together. We don't know what got sorted out from that interchange. They didn't give us a signal afterward. We're back to UNLV with the basketball.
It's one of the double check that it was on Hobson. That's the 4th team foul for New Mexico. UNLV already with 7 this half. Nearly a steal. Inside Standback, hanging and scoring. And Chase Standback knocks down another 2, and UNLV with a 21-16 lead. Standback with 5 points. McDonald down the lane with the right hand, puts it down.
McDonald's a guy that can really elevate to get his shot off, and we saw it there as he went down the lane and just shot it right over the top with that great leaping ability.
Trayvon Willis cut off by McDonald. Now Jasper was on the sideline and called out of bounds. Derek Jasper had microfracture surgery, and as a freshman at Kentucky, played in over 30 games. He started 27 of them. Wanted to be closer to home. He's a California kid from Paso Robles. New Mexico, a chance to get closer, perhaps even tie it. UNLV in a bit of a scoring drought. 2 points there. And there is McDonald with a 3, and the ball game is tied. 5 minutes to go, first half. Fans back up on their feet at the pit. Willis looks for the open man. Jasper on the miss, and the rebound to Will Brown. Blocking foul on Trayvon Willis. The 8th team foul. So shots for Darius Gary. He'll have 1 and 1.
Tim, you got to give some credit to this crowd in the pit for helping their team get back into it. It certainly makes a difference when you're behind in a game. You get behind like the Lobos did on the road and there's nobody there to kind of lift your energy level. It's tough, but you get behind at home, and this crowd stayed with this Lobo team and kept the energy level there to allow them to come back.
And New Mexico with their first lead. So we've had 1 lead change. The game has been tied twice so far. Matt Shaw checks back in.
Shaw comes in and Masamba goes to the bench. Lon Kruger told us how happy he's been with his post-production. As we mentioned, to do it by committee. Dara Santee along with Masamba and Shaw all rotating in through that post.
2-point lead for the Lobos, and they're starting to howl here in Albuquerque. Standback to Willis. Willis is doubled. Martinez and McDonald were on him, and now McDonald trips him up. So some contact there and some contact on the ice too. The NHL is on Versus. January 25th, Sidney Crosby and the Penguins invade Broadway for a showdown with the Rangers. And on the 26th, the surprising Coyotes are in Hockeytown to take on the Red Wings. The NHL is on Versus. We're all fans. Fans of college basketball here on Versus. Very happy you're with us. We're playing Fowler. I'm Tim Neverett at the pit in Albuquerque, and a good one in the Mountain West Conference. Shaw knocks down a 3. Matt Shaw hasn't shot a lot from out there, but he's been successful 41% of the time from behind the arc.
And he was open because New Mexico did a great job of handling the double team, getting it out of the double team and getting it to him.
That shrinks the recent run by the Lobos to 15-5. And a blocking foul is going to be called on UNLV. Timeout on the floor. UNLV back in front. Close one at the pit. 3:45 to go in the first half. A 1-point lead for UNLV over 15th ranked New Mexico. Talk about surprise teams in the NCAA. Kansas State has lost today to Missouri. Baylor, Rhode Island, Wisconsin a winner over Purdue. And New Mexico at 14-2. Happy to be right in the middle of those national rankings right now.
Well, we mentioned New Mexico, Kansas State, a team that gave UNLV one of their losses this year. Lon Kruger, of course, one of the great alums of Kansas State, one of their great stars. he wasn't happy about losing to his alma mater, that's for sure. What a great guy Lon Kruger is. We are spoiled, Tim, in this league with the quality of coaches that we get to deal with on a regular basis. 24th season as a collegiate head coach, just one of the great men in the game as well.
And he's pretty accurate with his shooting as well.
You ask the players on UNLV, who is the best shooter on the team? And they want to clarify. It's like, are you talking about just on the team, or can it be anybody associated with the team? And I said, anybody associated. They said, Lon Kruger, coach.
We might have the two most accurate shooting coaches here.
Yes.
Steve Alford.
Alford can still shoot it too.
One of the best.
They can both still shoot it.
Yeah, he was one of the best shooters, at least from the free throw line, in the history of college basketball. Well, tie game, third tie. The curl underneath. Willis finds Shaw. Shaw stripped. Stand back. Backs him up. 2 points off the glass.
And just staying with it down low. New Mexico recovered well to help defensively after the pass, but UNLV just stayed with it down low.
Martinez being worked on by Standback. And Gary double. UNLV working the trap on the wing, and Doris Gary trying to step through the double team. Brown back for Hobson. 5 seconds on the timer. Hobson to the rack. Loose ball battled for and won by Standback of UNLV. Off to Jasper. Jasper down court, lays it up and in. That's going to count. And Jasper will go to the line to try to complete a 3-point play.
And great defense on the other end led to this fast break, and good body control getting it off the glass. And what UNLV does so well, they force you to miss, they force turnovers, and then they get it out, and they have so many guys that can put it on the floor and get it up in transition. Derek Jasper, one of those guys at 6'6".
Foul on Doris Gary, his first, team 6th. And Martinez appeared to knock it out of bounds, but it'll go to New Mexico.
And the last time down the floor, UNLV increasing the defensive pressure, and they were switching, talking very well defensively down here, switching a lot of the screens off the ball and making it difficult for the Lobos to pass the ball, denying everything here.
Nate Garth was the intended target. Steal by Marshall. He's all alone for the two-handed flush. Anthony Marshall, a true freshman from Mojave High School in Las Vegas. Last year's Nevada Gatorade Player of the Year in the state. And it's a 30-24 lead. UNLV back up by 6. And the runner a little bit short by McDonald. Back to New Mexico off of UNLV. Just over 2 minutes to play in the opening half.
Every time I see the Rebels play, Tim, I'm a marvel at how they can play defensively with so much energy for a full game. I mean, they'll play it all game, this pressure D. But when you're using 11 players, Anthony Marshall's not a guy you heard much about, but he's out there. You can do that with that kind of depth.
From the baseline, the pass goes out to the top of the key. McDonald missing on the shot. Will Brown the rebound. Here's Martinez. 3, and he's fouled. Standback fouled him. And Martinez will go to the line for a possible 4-point play.
And when you need a play, your big-time senior leader comes through, and Martinez found that soft spot over in the corner, and I saw Lon Kruger yelling, shooter, shooter, trying to get somebody out there, and Standback was just too late. And you just never want to foul a three-point shooter. Just get a hand up, force him to make that deep shot, you foul him, and wow.
10th team foul on UNLV, so New Mexico on the double bonus for the remainder of the half. 2-point lead for the visitors.
Lobos come back in the 2-3 zone now.
Jasper with Marshall in the backcourt. Trayvon Willis, skip pass, open look for Standback. Long on the 3, and Ramon Martinez has his 7th rebound. McDonald along the baseline. The floater no good. Now 1 minute to play. Trayvon Willis. Rebound Martinez with 8 boards. New Mexico going the length of the floor. Will Brown stuffed. Fans wanted a foul. There's Willis. Foul called on the floor. It'll be whistled against Jamal Fenton. A little bit of a track meet here in New Mexico.
Well, we see Steve Alford upset. He wanted a call down on the other end. Felt like Will Brown got hammered down there. And if you stop to worry about something against UNLV, they'll push the ball back up the floor so quick the ball be in the hole before you know it. And Steve Alford not happy at all about the no call on the other end, on his offensive end.
Trayvon Willis coming off a very good performance Wednesday night against BYU in Provo, Utah, where he poured in 24 points. Not his season high, however. He scored 25 twice. Once against Southern Illinois and another one against Arizona. Well, the lead is back to 5. 6-second differential, shot clock to game clock. Martinez, guarded by Willis. Jamal Fenton back toward Gary. 10 seconds to shoot for the Lobos. And Doris Gary fouled on his way to the basket. Matt Shaw was the closest defender. Coming up at the half, we'll take a closer look at UNLV's Trayvon Willis. It'll be the Mountain on Versus. Also, we'll break down the Mountain West Conference, take a look at the conference contenders, plus highlights and stats from today's game. There are some highlights already. Some interesting numbers, too.
This game is, I don't know, the teams are shooting as well as we thought they would, but it's everything we thought it would be in terms of intensity and up and down the floor, that's for sure. We mentioned earlier, 78 straight games started for Doris Gary.
So Gary trying to make it a 3-point game. Dips, shoots, and hits. And a quick substitution, Chad Adams, high school freshman out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. A true freshman, just out of Highland High School last year. 10 seconds to go in the half. Jones finds Hawkins. And UNLV wants to call timeout with 6 and 3/10 seconds remaining in the half. And the pit, 37 feet underground, opened in 1966. It's going to have a much different look next November. A major facelift is being given to this very famous arena.
Well, and the result of that is that right now there's nothing up in the concourse. You see what it's going to look like in the future. Beautiful glass facade on the front, a lot more natural light, and this is what it'll look like inside. The big addition is the luxury boxes and suites up on the top. You look at what they're doing, 60,000 square feet of new space, and going to be great up on top on the concourse. New locker rooms, new weight and training facilities, those 40 suites. But how about a tip of the hat to the Lobo fans? Because you saw the tents. If you want a concession now, you got to go out to a tent. You want to go to the restroom, you go out to a porta potty outside. And yet they just continue to fill this place up and support their Lobos. I feel like they should be handing out hard hats as they let people in.
And you see the plastic sheeting. I mean, essentially on the other side of that, this is an open air facility. The fire marshal of Albuquerque won't let them close the doors because of the way the construction is.
Yeah, and then when we come in, where we've always come in for years into the pit, Tim, is now I feel like I'm walking into a mine or something because we walk through a plywood tunnel as we come down in. But Steve Alford said the fans here, we asked him about this, he says they're amazing. They support no matter what.
UNLV looking for the final shot. Willis got it. Clanked around the rim and finally dropped. And so UNLV with a couple of more points tacked on. The officials now over at the scorer's table. They want to see a replay. And Was this a 3 or a 2? Looks like it might have been a 3, depending on where his right toe was playing.
Yeah, that'll be the question. The right-handed shooter, that right toe, you see it. Great shot right there in between Hobson and Shaw. And it looked like he was behind it by about 4 or 5 inches, and that one will count as a 3.
So it'll be a 36-30 lead. 1 2/10 seconds left in half number 1.
Mexico get the ball on the baseline. Not like the NBA, can't advance it to half court on the timeout. So left to go the full length here.
Juan Martinez throws it up to half court. Hobson launches hard, just short. So the Lobos head to their locker room, 6 points shy of their visitors from Las Vegas. So Lon Kruger, a lead on the road. But Hobson, he had this one lined up just about an inch or two short at the break. And Trayvon Willis hit that 3 with 1.2 seconds to go. And it turns out to be a pretty big basket here in the first half. UNLV's leading scorer, Trayvon Willis, has the running Rebels up 36-30. Our halftime coverage begins next on Versus. A 6-point lead for UNLV. They shot nearly 50% or 56% in the first half. It was the 5th time this season playing they've shot 50% or better in the first half.
Well, and to do that on the road is impressive. An unfamiliar surroundings. And keep in mind, Tim, UNLV didn't even shoot around in this building. They came, took a trip back from Provo and came in and did not shoot around yesterday or today.
UNLV starts with a ball and the miss by Belfield. Here comes Hobson running it up. Martinez, 3. 13 points for Roman Martinez.
And add 8 rebounds to that. We're just starting the second half. Those are great numbers for the senior.
Willis driving, cut off. Belfield looking for Stanback. He pulls up. Rebound now to McDonald. Therese Gary, the point guard from Elkhart, Indiana, gives off to Hobson. He'll launch. Rebound Jasper. Long pass to Trayvon Willis. Goaltending on McDonald, basket counts.
And you saw Darrington Hobson say, my fault. When you're the guy that's on top offensively, you have to get back and play D. And there's a look at our first half stats. You mentioned the great field goal percentage shooting for UNLV, 55, just 38 for the Lobos in their own building. And turnovers, they were rampant at the beginning of the game, and both teams settled in and took a little bit better care of the ball as the first half progressed.
Therese Gary fouled on the perimeter by Jasper. That'll be the second foul on Derek Jasper. Steve Alford has done a great job here. His 19th year as a head coach. He's 45. He has 368 career wins.
That seems like an unbelievable number for a guy that young, doesn't it?
His 46 wins here in New Mexico are the most by a Lobo head coach in his first 2 seasons. And Darrington Hobson with a basket. Three-point lead.
Great help that time. And twice Hardiman comes over and gives great help.
That one is off a foot. Jasper got the kick, so ball will be put back into play on the baseline. A little bit shy of 2 minutes into the second half. At the pit, McDonald catch and shoot, blocked by Stanback. And somehow Shaw was able to keep that in. Good pass down to Willis. That's poked free. Good play defensively by the senior, Roman Martinez.
Well, we saw two great hustle plays on it. There's the block. Then you got to love the save. Heads up play by Shaw to get it out there. And then a hustle play on the other end by Roman Martinez.
Shaw was wide open. They collapse on him, but he gets the roll. Five-point advantage for UNLV. And Gary dribbling through traffic, fouled as he goes to the basket. And the infraction will be called on Chase Stanback. And for Stanback, his second personal foul.
Doris Gary did a nice job. When UNLV came out and showed on the screen, the big man jumped out to stop him. He just split that double team and got close to the basket, attacked.
Gary misses. Steve Alford and his coaching staff compete with the team. At the end of their shoot-arounds, they will have a half-court shooting competition. And they broke it down into 2 seasons. The coaches won a lot of matches in what they call the first half of the season. If you lose, you have to run. Yesterday, the players won, so the coaches had to run.
And it was Roman Martinez that made the half-court shot that forced the coaches to run. They always finish up their shoot-around with that contest between the coaches and players.
And in the second half, the players now lead the coaches 2 wins to 1 loss.
The coaches were so far out in front, they had to just end the first season. It was unreachable.
Belfield pulls up. Rebound Martinez. That's number 9 for him. Barrington Hobson guarded by Jasper. Looking for Hardiman, but gives off to Martinez. Switch up, double team, and coming in to make the steal was Willis, and the foul in the backcourt by Hobson.
What a great job of recognizing where to be on the floor, coming from the weak side opposite the basketball. Trayvon Willis, the guard. You guards have to do some dirty work. If you're going to double team out high, you've got to rotate down. He got down in the paint and made a great steal.
Oscar Belfield with the basketball. He's out of Los Angeles. Skips it across the court. Stanback. Jumper's good for 2. Stanback. 9 points for the running Rebels. Stanback is the team's steals leader. Had to sit out last year after transferring from UCLA. A big addition for Lon Kruger's team. Doris Gary driving, and on his second effort at least got it to the basket. Hardiman, he'll get a second chance. Switches hands, does it again and misses. And the loose ball ends up in the hands of Hardiman, and a foul after all that.
I don't know. Can we really give him 11 offensive rebounds there or whatever it was? I mean, let's count them. There's 1 offensive board. There's 2. Okay, and there's 3, and I don't know if we're going to count that one, but and then he picked that. I don't even know how to count that. I'm anxious to see what that ends up when we'll ask our stats guys to tell us what they gave him on that. But way to stay with the ball. I mean, that's just about effort. He was just not going to be denied getting his hands on the basketball.
Moses Malone used to do that in the NBA all the time.
That's how you average double rebounds every game, because you get 5 offensive boards on putbacks on the same time down the floor. And then scowl all the way back down the middle.
Jasper scowl on the rebound. He rips it down for the Running Rebel. 42-36. UNLV in front. 4 minutes gone by in the second half. And Belfield to the corner. Shaw, long one. In and out, and a double-double now for Roman Martinez. His 3rd one of the season. 3rd in the last 6 games. His 7th career double-double.
And we were just told by stats that he did get 4 offensive rebounds credited.
The only Lobo with 2 triple-doubles. Luke Longley's got 3 NBA championship rings. Watching his first game as a fan here at the Pit. As a senior, he averaged almost 20 points and 10 rebounds a game. He was the number 7 pick overall that year by Minnesota. Ended up with Chicago, and he is here visiting with the team this week. all the way from Australia. And he didn't exactly get the front row seats, Blaine.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Put him up that high in the corner. And the Snake has the best seat in the house, but he's honoring Luke Longley today. As we saw him show up, not only did he have the uni on, he had the full Luke Longley sweats from that era. That guy is one of the most well-known fans here in the Mountain West Conference.
Lobos with the basketball, trailing 42-36. Here's Will Brown, the short pull-up. Front rimmed it, Stanback with the rebound. And Luke Longley, the only Lobo to ever have a triple-double. He had 2 of them, and both of them came with points and rebounds. One came with assists in double figures. Another one came in blocks with double figures.
That one amazes me. I could see him getting double teamed and getting the assists as we see Hobson go coast to coast. I can understand that, but double figures and blocks is ridiculous.
Only now in Australia full time. He has been there since 2001. And says his daughter is a hooper. He's a basketball player.
Is that the Australian term?
She's 6'3" and
hooper.
I wonder if New Mexico women's coach Don Flanagan's made a phone call. Will Brown near the free throw stripe off to Doris Gary. A cutter and Ramon Martinez, but didn't deliver the ball. Now Hobson, left hand, strong to the basket. Good for 2. Cuts the lead to 4. Darrington Hobson starting to figure a little bit more into the offense. He had 2 points in the first half, now with 4 in the second. Kendall Wallace. Side it goes, Stanback around Martinez. A block by Martinez. And Ramon Martinez does it all for New Mexico. There's the lob to Hobson, one-on-one with Wallace, and Santee came up, got him with a body. Foul to be called on Kendall Wallace. He also got him with a body, so it was really dealer's choice for the official on who to call that foul on.
Well, when Hobson caught it on the low block on the left side, he turned to look to see if there was a double team coming and was looking to pass out if it did, but when they didn't, he said, okay, I'll just put it on the floor and take it right at you. And then the double team came, but it was too late because he was on the move.
Hobson hitting his first shot. That is good. Luke Longley, one of a number of very talented Australian basketball players. Andrew Bogut played at Utah. Luke Neville played at Utah. Bogut now with the Milwaukee Bucks. And then, there, of course, there's Andrew Gaze out of Seton Hall. And Gaze was a prominent member of the Australian men's national team. Participated in the Olympics a number of times. And Andrew Bogut is that man now for Australia. So a 2-point lead. UNLV trying to extend it. Lobo fans getting loud. Oscar Belfield guarded by Doris Gary. Kendall Wallace open look at a 3. Got it. That's his second one of the ball game.
I'm always impressed with the confidence that Kendall Wallace shoots the basketball with. He comes off the bench and he does not hesitate to shoot that 3. He's been very reliable the last couple of years for UNLV.
He has 72 career 3-point shots now. 36%. Goes that one right over Jasper, and Darrington Hobson becoming a big factor in the second half for New Mexico. He's got 8. Steve Jones to Kendall Wallace. Jasper launches. Rebound to Hobson. And Hobson will go to the rack, draws a crowd, and is fouled. There were 4 scarlet jerseys near Darrington Hobson.
Boy, he's such a confident offensive player. He's got a great repertoire. This is the basket the last time down the floor. Watch him with the jab step. going to get the defender to back off. That creates just a little bit of room, and when he sees that room, he's got those long arms, and at 6'7", he's very adept at shooting it right over the top. Then this last time, the great ball fake to get the defenders in the air, and then he jumps in and forces the contact.
And a factor here, Blaine, the foul on Steve Jones, that's the 7th team foul already on UNLV. So New Mexico in the bonus for the remainder of the game. Meantime, the Lobos only 1 team foul, so a big discrepancy there, and this will give New Mexico more opportunities to score from the line now that they're in the bonus the rest of the way. They trail by 1. And a whistle off the ball. A holding foul called underneath on Darius Gary. It'll be the 2nd personal foul on Gary, 2nd team foul. Now Gary will head to the bench, and Nate Garth will come in.
Well, Derek Jasper was trying to post up Darius Gary down a low block. Jasper, a much bigger player.
Belfield backing in, now doubled, steps through the double team. Jasper trying to get around Martinez, dumps it off to Santee. Skip to Belfield. Good defense right now by New Mexico. Jump shot, too long. Rebound and a fresh shot clock for UNLV. Great rebound by Belfield. Wallace the bounce pass to Jasper. Jasper nowhere to go. And Will Brown delivers the ball to Garth. Now Hobson, Martinez, 3, no. McDonald, a flying rebound, and a traveling violation, ball turned over.
And that was the right call. The fans here don't like it, but McDonald gathered himself and shuffled those feet.
We've got a good one for you at the pit. Stay right where you are. The Lobos trailing by 1, 11:55 left in the second half. Darrington Hobson has awoken here in the second half.
Oh, and he just does so many things so well. And when he's got the ball in his hands, he's a great passer. He recognizes defenses, and he's got a full armament of offensive skills to go with that. We'll see him putting the ball on the floor and attacking the basket. He's been much more aggressive this half. And when the short stuff started to fall, he moved out a little bit. You know, that shot has not been falling. He's been a little bit of a slump for the last 4 or 5 games. And I like what he's doing in this one, and that is he's not settling for long jumpers. He's taking the ball to the basket. That's the way you get out of a slump.
Point differential, 1st to 2nd. Now UNLV, following the turnover by New Mexico, will have the possession. Here is Wallace, guarded by McDonald. Off the curl, Trayvon Willis, 16-footer. Doesn't fall. Garth gets the rebound. Here comes Nate Garth to set up that Lobo offense. He's isolated on the left side with Belfield. McDonald takes advantage of a fallen down Wallace. Martinez long on the 3, rebound stand back. Belfield to Kendall Wallace, 3-pointer. And the rebound to stand back. He's been a force on the boards.
UNLV doing a good job on the offensive glass in this half.
6 rebounds now for Chase Standback. But New Mexico leading in the team rebounding category. They've got 10 more rebounds than UNLV, 30-20. Nice Musumba. Back outside, Standback. He's long on the 3. UNLV looked a little out of sorts on that possession. Hobson, the lob for Brown. 2. And the Lobos back in the lead, 46-45.
Great movement without the ball by Brown. I love those soft hands and those long arms that he has.
Anybody's ball game with just over 10 minutes to go. Trayvon Willis kicks it outside. Belfield from long range. Rebound Hobson. Roman Martinez will wait for some help.
And a good Martinez veteran realizes that it's 1-on-3. He doesn't have numbers. He brings it out.
Great move behind the back. And the left-hander can't get it to go down. Kendall Wallace comes up with the ball for UNLV.
And UNLV's had some good looks in the last 3 or 4 offensive series, but they just could not seem to knock one down. A real struggle right now to find points.
Third straight sellout crowd for New Mexico, and they are loud as the Lobos have not led very much in this game. They're in front for just the second time, and a foul called inside. The high-flying Mountain West Hoops continues on Versus February 6th. BYU is out to prove it remains one of the conference's best teams as they take on a promising UNLV squad. BYU, UNLV live Saturday, February 6th, 4 Eastern, 3 Central on Versus. Dave Rose, the head coach at BYU, played on this floor as a collegiate. That Phi Slamma Jamma team that lost to NC State in the NCAA championship game here. Trayvon Willis knocks that one down.
Willis, 91.5% from the free throw line. Second best in the Mountain West Conference, just behind Jimmer Fredette from BYU and one of the top in the country. Both of those guys, that's an incredible number.
Curtis Dennis just checked in. Bronx, New York native. He's familiar with Las Vegas. Played at Finley Prep in Las Vegas. One of the powerhouses nationally in prep school basketball. Named after Cliff Finley, a former UNLV player. He was a prominent businessman in that time.
Kendall Wallace, a great job of getting the basketball, throwing it off a Lobo player. Just a very wily basketball player. Great IQ in basketball. First team All-Stater from Arizona at Mountain View High School. 3 straight state championship rings there.
Willis had it poked away. Knocked out of bounds by New Mexico. UNLV will maintain possession. Substitutions for Steve Alford. Martinez will stay in, but Therese Gary and Jamal Fenton have entered the game. Nate Garth takes a seat. Here's Belfield. Willis for stand back. Belfield quickly jumped on by Roman Martinez. 5 seconds to shoot. Wallace hits the 3, his 3rd of the game. Kendall Wallace can be a dagger on another coach's side off the bench. And he does it again, draining a long-range jump shot. A good pass from Belfield underneath. Kendall Wallace, his 3rd three-pointer, has the Rebels up 50-46.
See the problem lies.
Youngster, born to be wild. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Playing fouler Tim Neverett here in Albuquerque, New Mexico today. Utah has beaten TCU, so now they are 1-0 conference play. The Horned Frogs 1-1. BYU leads everybody overall. San Diego State, Steve Fisher's got them going again out there. He has brought in a number of terrific athletes, and Colorado State has been playing very, very well in Fort Collins.
We talked about surprise teams in the country, and listen to New Mexico. Colorado State's certainly a surprise team in this conference. Tim Miles doing a great job over there in their early going, but that shows you how important this game is to these 2 basketball teams. They both start 0-1, and nobody wants to go down 0-2 and be playing catch up the rest of the year.
50-46 UNLV. We've had 5 lead changes so far. We expected a close one, and it's been that way. UNLV did lead by as many as 11 in the first half. Gary on the miss. That'll remain New Mexico's ball.
Chase Standback going up for the defensive board, tipped that one out of bounds.
Curtis Dennis gets it up top to Jamal Fenton. for Gary. Fenton. Back for Gary. Tipped out of bounds by Oscar Belfield. And we'll step aside again. Still a 4-point lead for the running Rebels of UNLV. Just under 8 minutes remaining here in Albuquerque, and the visiting running Rebels with a 50-46 lead. Mostly because of the outside shooting off the bench of Kendall Wallace. He is an eagle-eyed sharpshooter.
And he's such a smart player. He knows where to go. Does a great job of getting open, moving without the basketball, and knows where that open spot is. And he's got great confidence in guys like Oscar Belfield that if I go to the right spot and get open, he will find me. And they're very confident that when they get him open, he's got those toes on the line, he's squared up. He's going to knock that thing down. 6 points in this one.
Roman Martinez missing on the three. And UNLV bringing the ball up the floor. Anthony Marshall continues to be a prominent part of the future of Brown Rebel basketball. True freshman. There's Wallace again. Inside, Osumba kicks it out. Wallace, corner, wide open. He's got his fourth three-pointer. That ties a season high.
Well, he's really feeling it now.
So 12 points now for him.
The exact same spot as the last one in that deep left corner.
And that shot off the mark taken by Jamal Fenton. So, New Mexico to put it in bounds. And Gary trying to get that ball over Marshall, and Marshall makes the steal. Good anticipation by the young guard. Now, there's still 6 minutes and change to go, Blaine, but if UNLV were to win this game on the road against a team that's ranked 14th in one poll, 15th in another, they're getting votes already. They've been in the top 25. Did they get back in with a win here today?
I think that they, as many votes as we're seeing where they're at, you see them knock down another, there's a great chance that next Monday when the polls come out, they could be back in the polls.
Steve Alford wants a 30. Chase Stanback just drains that three-pointer, and UNLV on an 11-0 run. And Osumba kicks this one out, and look how open Kendall Wallace is.
Well, and great ball movement, too. Their extra pass. Coaches, you always hear them talk about the extra pass. Well, that was the extra pass. And here on the last one, UNLV does a great job. They get penetration, force you to collapse defensively, and kick it back out. And another three for UNLV, this time by Chase Stanback.
We've seen a lot of draw and kick action from UNLV. It started early, drawing a crowd, 2 and 3 defenders sometimes, and then kicking it back outside. They find the open shot. He is 1 3-pointer shy of his career high of 5.
Tim, every coach you talk to when they're getting ready to play UNLV, the first thing they mention is we have got to stay in front of their players with the basketball. We've got to be able to defend the ball and stop the dribble drive one-on-one. As soon as they break you down, that's right where UNLV wants you. You get 2 guys to the guy with the ball, they kick it to the perimeter, and they knock down shots. You have to be good on-the-ball defenders to stop this UNLV offense. 10-point lead.
Second time UNLV has been in double digits as far as the lead is concerned, but the largest lead has been 11. Bryce Osumba involved in the contact.
And he's stepping out to help. The confusion in terms of communication that time defensively for UNLV.
Reese Gary from the free throw line, 73%. He's been their leading scorer the past 2 games. Over the last 8 games has been averaging just under 14 points.
For New Mexico now, they're going to have to pick it up on the defensive end. UNLV's done a great job offensively of that right there. Yeah, great give and go.
Jasper is tackled.
UNLV's done a great job of breaking this New Mexico defense down, and whether it's with penetration off the dribble, and this is just a good old-fashioned give and go. And Jasper goes hard to the floor.
Second personal foul on McDonald, fourth on the team. Jasper has not been what he has hoped from the free throw line, just 49% on the season, trying to get better there. Marshall comes out, Belfield in.
He's as good from the field as he is from the free throw line.
It's okay if you're better than just a little better than 50% from the field, though. From the free throw line, you want to be 70 or better, maybe 80. Trayvon Willis comes back in for Lon Kruger. Jasper will go to the bench. Coming up on the 6-minute mark, remaining in the second half at the pit. Luis Gary kicks it way outside. McDonald hits a three. 7-point ball game. And a steal by Martinez. McDonald steps into another three and airmails it.
Well, you want to talk about anticlimactic. Martinez with the great steal snuck back and got the ball, and this crowd was on their feet ready to erupt when that second three would have dropped down, and it was an air ball.
He took it from the same spot.
Yeah.
From the one he made just moments earlier. Wallace. He's got 5. A career high tying three-pointer for Kendall Wallace, and the lead is 10 again. Martinez looking to answer. Stenback comes up with a big rebound. The Rebels with numbers 3-on-1. Wallace alley-oop for Willis. And a foul is called underneath. And Trayvon Willis will be called for the foul.
Kendall Wallace is just unconscious right now, shooting from the outside. And teammates know that he's shooting the ball well, and they're looking to find him. He's setting his feet on that three-point line, and as guys take the ball into the interior, they're looking to see where he's lurking on the outside and knock one down. If you're New Mexico, you better find 2. You better find where he's at.
And for Wallace, the last time he had 5 three-pointers in a game, last January 31st in Colorado Springs against the Air Force Academy. 15 points for Wallace off the bench. He has been very helpful for UNLV. 10-point game. And now 5 minutes remaining in it. Wallace. He's got a career high 6 threes. How about that for Kendall Wallace? 6 for 9 from the field. 18 points. Luis Gary lost the handle on it. UNLV with their largest lead now at 13. Kendall Wallace working well, getting some help from his friends.
Oh, and he's going to get a screen up top of the key by Masamba, and teammates looking to find him now, and he moves so well without the ball. He's shooting it well, but it's not just, he doesn't take it off the dribble. He knows what to do when he doesn't have the basketball to get open. The soft spots on the floor, he knows how to run people off the screens. Just a very smart basketball player. Always a good shooter, but really feeling it tonight.
Fouls on Chase Stenback, his 4th. It's the 10th team foul, so New Mexico in the double bonus for the rest of the way. Matt Shaw replaces Bryce Masamba, and Stenback will look to take it out after the made free throw. Chad Adams comes in for the Lobos. McDonald will have a seat for Steve Alford's team. Well, it's getting to be nail-biting time for New Mexico, who have won 19 straight here. And last year, UNLV was a streak ender. BYU had quite a long streak going at the Marriott Center, and UNLV went in there and won.
BYU had a 25-game home conference win streak, and UNLV went in there and took it away, and it almost beat BYU again the other night. They had them on the ropes down the stretch, and turned the ball over, a couple unforced errors that cost him the game in the end.
Shaw backing up against Hardiman. He'll shoot over him. Belfield looked like he was going to hurdle Chad Adams there to get after that rebound. So Roman Martinez will put the ball in play. He's got a double-double, 13 points, a career-high 12 rebounds. So it's been a big game for Martinez, but he traded all for the lead about now. A.J. Hardiman way outside, off to McDonald. Hobson looking to get to the basket. Jump stop, and that's good for 2.
I like that mentality, Tim. I like not feeling like you got to knock down threes to get back in, just taking it to the rim.
14 points for Darrington Hobson. Lead is 9 with just over 3.5 to play. Stanback pulls up. Oh, and he hits a big one for UNLV. Lead at 11. And a blocking foul up top on Matt Shaw. Kendall Wallace playing like William Wallace back in Scotland. A career high 6 threes. Looks of concern over the faces of the Lobo faithful. 66-55, UNLV leading New Mexico. This Sunday, Versus will return to the cage. Jamie Viner and Ben Henderson will be there. 2 champions will collide, but only one will leave with the lightweight belt. Plus, witness the return of the most dynamic featherweight in WEC history. Uriah Faber, the California kid, will load up for another title run. World Extreme Cage Fighting live Sunday, 9 Eastern, only on Versus. Kendall Wallace with a career-high 6 threes, a career-high 18 points. He had 16 this year against Pittsburgh State and South Carolina Upstate. So he has surpassed that. Leading scorer in the game, Darius Gary, rips through his first free throw. Make it a 10-point game again. Steve Alford has asked Darius Gary to score more this year. His junior season, he'd been asked to direct the offense and manage the game more in his previous 2 years.
A little full court trap now out of the Lobos.
Right off the face of Shaw, and Gary with the possession. Here's Martinez. 15 points for the Lobos senior. UNLV trying to get through that full court pressure. Finally they do. And Oscar Belfield with the basketball.
And New Mexico right now, Tim, with just 5 team fouls, so they need to be aggressive. No reason to be worried about fouls. Don't play stupid and reach, but play very, very aggressive out there, and don't worry about it to pick up a foul or 2.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Belfield forces one underneath. Jasper alone on the weak side. Catch and score for 2. Good look by Oscar Belfield. Roman Martinez picks up a foul. Chase Stanback got his hand on him.
Great nonverbal communication. Oscar Belfield knowing exactly where everyone is on the floor, and a beautiful dish to Derek Jasper on the backside.
Correction, they called the foul on Jasper at the other end. That's a good thing because Stanback has 4 fouls. Good thing for him, he's still in the game. Jasper with 3 fouls. And the free throw letting down Darrington Hobson. Only a 60% shooter. Went to 5 high schools in 5 years. I asked Lon Kruger before the game to compare him to somebody that he's seen recently play. He said Lorenzo Wade, who played so well for Steve Fisher at San Diego State. A lot of the reason, he's about the same size. He's as smooth, and he's also left-handed.
Yeah.
Thought that was a very good comparison. Steve Alford yesterday was telling us he would compare him a little bit to a kind of a mix between Danny Granger, former Lobo, and J.R. Giddens.
And that's, boy, if you're Darrington Hobson, you like that comparison. If your coach thinks you're as good as those guys or like those guys, that's saying something. They were great players, as was Lorenzo Wade at San Diego State. So,
under 2 minutes to play at the pit. Trayvon Willis missed everything. Gives the ball back to New Mexico.
I mean, UNLV's done such a good job of penetrating and kicking and getting good shots. That was just a 3 off the dribble. Nobody there to rebound that air ball.
Gary gets the basket. He'll go to the line for a possible 3-point play. Good control with the body by Darius Gary as he went up and scored. Fouls on Jasper, his 4th.
This was all on his own as he shows you the strength that he has. He's just 6'1", so he's not one of the tall guys out there. But at 205 pounds, he's built a lot like a strong safety would be in football. And very strong player. When I asked Steve Alford to describe him, the first thing he said was he's very strong and he's a very athletic player and a great defender. As you mentioned, Alford asked him to be more of an offensive presence this year.
Well, he's been very offensive from the free throw line today. 12 out of 14, so 12 of his 14 points coming from the stripe. He's got just the 1 field goal. And the big story of this game for the Runnin' Rebels has been the shooting of Kendall Wallace. He's having a career game.
Well, Wallace, the junior out of Mesa, just the basket at this point must look like it's 3 times the size that normally is. Everything going in. He's coming off screens and shooting. He's sitting on the opposite side and catching penetrating dish passes. Just a magnificent game so far.
6 for 9. All of his shots, all 9, have come from behind the arc.
Kendall's great uncle, a good friend that coached at Hawaii for so many years, the great Riley Wallace. 20 years, more than 20 years at the University of Hawaii. It was always fun to work with when we did their games.
And there was another free throw made by Darius Gary. Lobos have cut it down to 68-62. Stand back with Belfield. What does UNLV need to do with the lead shrinking and the clock also ticking down?
They want to be patient as they are, but then they've got to allow enough time to get into their normal offense. They don't want to take desperation shots at the end of the clock. So when you get down around 12 or 11 seconds, now you get into your offense and get a good shot. Lon's going to call a timeout here to get a nice set play coming out of the timeout. But the last 2 times down the floor, they've just been kind of desperation shots. And you want to get into your offense early enough to get a good shot.
Steve Alford trying to draw up a way to come back here. Been very successful at the pit this year. 10-0 at home. And a big game because the loser of this game will drop to 0-2. And New Mexico in the national rankings at 14 in one poll, 15 in another, could be 0-2 in their own league in another minute and 21 seconds if they can't come back.
Well, and what a start for both of these teams in terms of who they had to play in the conference to begin with. New Mexico has to go on the road in their opener to play at San Diego State, one of the conference favorites, then come home and play UNLV, great rival. And UNLV goes on the road in their opener to play in the Marriott Center, which is one of the toughest places to win in the country, and then come down here to the pit, which is equally as tough.
Belfield inbounds the ball. Stanback's got it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Trayvon Willis cut off by McDonald. Wallace, he's got 7 of them.
Are you kidding me? He is on fire, and they drew that play up for him out of the timeout. Everyone, including Lon Kruger, knows that's the guy that needs to have the ball in his hands on this.
Kendall Wallace is red hot from the outside. 21 points. And UNLV a 9-point lead, and a foul is called. Hobson on Trayvon Willis.
And here you get into a situation where when you only have 5 team fouls, you can't, they've got to get another foul after the one they just committed. And look at Wallace coming off all the way from the backside, the good rotation. Didn't even really have to set screens for him. They were there. He came way over the top of the screens. But, man, how can you lose track of that guy right now, the way he has been shooting the basketball? 7 of 10 from behind the arc. 21 points, a career high. You know, we talked about his great uncle Riley. His dad was a high school coach in Illinois for more than 17 years, and his grandfather, Lauren, is one of the winningest coaches in the history of Illinois high school basketball. So he comes from a great basketball family. It's no wonder he knows where he's supposed to be on the floor.
Got some football players in the family, too. His uncle David Barham played for the University of Alabama. And Rufus Alexander is his cousin. He played at Oklahoma, then in the NFL with the Vikings, the Colts, and the Lions. And New Mexico, long faces on the bench. Should they lose, this would be their first home conference loss since February 26, 2008, when BYU beat them here in overtime. Rebound to Will Brown. 10-point game. Mexico's got to get the ball up in the air. McDonald fires it and cannot get it to go. Loose ball taken by Stanback. Chase Stanback, 9 rebounds.
A good job by UNLV of getting the ball out of your hand. You get the ball in your hands, you want to get it out of your hands and get it up the floor before you can be fouled. They did a nice job that time of getting rid of it.
Belfield takes the ball in bounds, and then Roman Martinez will commit the personal foul. Take a look at more Mountain West Conference basketball coming your way. The 6th of February should be a good one between the Cougars of BYU and the Runnin' Rebels. The Rebels back on in San Diego against the Aztecs of San Diego State. Always tough to win down there. New Mexico is at BYU on the 27th, and on the 6th of March, Wyoming comes to Las Vegas to take on UNLV, and then the Mountain West Championships, March 13th.
We really do have the cream of the crop. Great games for you going down the stretch here on Versus.
Trayvon Willis trying to guarantee that UNLV has won 6 of their last 8 against New Mexico in this series. They will go to 25-14 all time against New Mexico. Shot clock dead the rest of the way, and UNLV can walk it out. They lead by 12, and the voters will look at a double-digit win on the road against a ranked team and look for UNLV to get back into the rankings this week. The final score is 74-62. Lon Kruger comes up with a big win over Steve Alford's New Mexico Lobos. 74-62 UNLV. Coming up next, Sports Jobs with Junior Seau. For more information on college basketball, log on to Versus.com. For Blaine Fowler and our entire Versus crew here in Albuquerque, I'm Tim Neverett. So long from the land of enchantment, Albuquerque, New Mexico. The Runnin' Rebels knock off the Lobos. So long, everybody.